Hello, and welcome to episode 21 of Let's Talk Immigration. That's a lot of episodes of you all listening to me talk about immigration. Today, I wanted to cover a couple topics, and then we'll go to Q&A. The first topic I want to discuss is diversity visa 2023 selectees that have attended an interview and you're in AP. Okay. That means that you went to the interview, and more likely than not always, but they've given you what's called a DS 5535 form where they want additional information. Sometimes you go in AP and they want a birth certificate or a document that was missing. And sometimes you go into AP because they are vetting you. They are doing national security, like extra vetting, and they need you to answer some questions, and they send it to DC and it's vetted. These questions are commonly referred to as the DS 5535. Okay. We have found in our litigation across other visa categories, and also in 2022 with the diversity visa category, that once someone is already in AP, a mandamus lawsuit is extremely effective at pulling them out of AP. In other words, the government would rather just wrap up a case and give a final decision instead of fighting a lawsuit on the reasonableness of someone being in AP for an extended amount of time. By AP, I mean administrative processing, which on SEAC sometimes says refused. But it's administrative processing under 221G of the INA. So what I just want to say is we charge $4,000 for a mandamus lawsuit for a visa applicant that is in AP. And we have decided to extend that to diversity visa selectees. Okay, so if you are a DV and you've attended your interview, I see James says no sound. That worries me. Can somebody on my team confirm that you can hear me? Can someone type and let you know that you can hear me? Why would there be no sound? Are you sure, James? So anyway, DV 2023 selectees who are in AP, we are open for business, and we will do a mandamus lawsuit for you for $4,000. However, understand you have to prepay that. That's not, hey, can you do the lawsuit for me now and I'll pay when I get to the US? No, we will not do that. We need to be paid in advance. So the other second topic I wanted to talk about before we go to Q&A is related to AP. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. The other topic was related to AP in other visa categories, particularly with Iranians. There's no reason to stay around in AP because these mandamus lawsuits are very effective. I realize they're not cheap, $4,000, but they're very effective at reaching a final adjudication on a visa application. So if you are out there and your parent, spouse, child, sibling is stuck in AP after an interview, at least have a conversation with me or with someone else who does mandamus lawsuits, because I think it's an option you really should consider. Okay, especially with all the turmoil, all the unrest going on in the world, right? The immigration benefits we have today are not promised for tomorrow. So we need to take advantage of them while we have them. Okay. I talked about DVs. I talked about Iranian APs. Somebody asked me if I was going to talk today about our case against ICE. I'm actually not, because we are filing. I'm working with the other attorneys on that case, and we're filing a reply to the government's opposition to our motion for class certification on Friday. And there's some sensitive topics, since the government's made a filing under seal. We'll probably need to make a filing under seal, and it's best if I don't discuss that today. So let me just move on to Q&A, except I don't think anybody's given me a question yet. Oh my gosh. If you are tuning in on Twitter, the best place to ask questions is YouTube, Facebook, or Telegram. The Telegram channel, we should be live streaming there too. Okay. Prashit says, hi, sir. You're doing great. Thank you. And James says, how are you? I'm fine. James says DV 2021. Okay. James, I've talked to you about this. You are a good luck plaintiff. So why do you say DV 2021? Because that makes me explain the whole DV 2021 story, when your situation is different from most DV 2021s. Most DV 2021s, your journey is over. If you are a good luck plaintiff, or you are one of the DV 2021 selectees who was waiting an interview at one of the Ray embassies, then your journey is not over, but we are awaiting the outcome of the appeal before a 3-judge panel of the Circuit Court of Appeals for the District Court of Columbia. Nothing has changed on that. That's still where we are. Henny says, how about a mandamus action against the DC Circuit? It's a joke, of course. Funny you say that. You can file a mandamus action against a court, and I was involved in one once. In the federal climate case, the government filed a writ of mandamus to the circuit court to force the district court to do something. So that is a procedural instrument. However, I don't know who you would file it against if the DC Circuit is the court that you want to compel. If we tried to file that with the Supreme Court, it would fail. Okay, the Supreme Court is not going to be our savior, at least in the short term. Also, I understand where you're coming from, Hanny, but just a reminder to everybody, the court is not a problem. The Biden administration appealing their losses is the problem. Appealing our victories is the problem. When the Biden administration drops their appeal, if they withdraw their appeal, which we would consent to, that would solve the problem for the DVs. Okay. Archer says, do you have any news about DV 2021? About 2021? 2021 was not the best year of my life. That's what I say about 2021. I think you're talking about DV 2021, in which case I'll refer you to what I said a few minutes ago. Yes, James, I know you're a good luck plaintiff, so next time ask about good luck, not about DV 2021. We're on the same page. Bassam Altaf has a question on YouTube. Is there any update from Islamabad lawsuit? Okay. Bassam is talking about the lawsuit called Naveed versus Blinken. This is where we sued the Secretary of State and some of the officials at U.S. Embassy Islamabad for some policies that are causing extremely unreasonable delays for immediate relative immigrant visa applicants at Islamabad, particularly spouses of U.S. citizens who have waited years to be together. It's kind of crazy. where we are in that case is the government has filed a motion to dismiss. We have filed an opposition to that motion, and the government has filed a reply. Now it is up to the judge in that case, who's a very reasonable judge, to issue an order that on that motion, whether he wants to dismiss the case or whether he wants the case to survive and we continue on to the next phase. So that's where we are right now. We are waiting on the judge to issue an order on the government's motion to dismiss. Again, this isn't the judge's fault. Judges have very busy dockets, and the government has made this case a lot more complicated than it is by making some crazy arguments. So it's the Biden administration's fault. As far as progress, we have 10 couples in that case, and I believe 3 of them have been scheduled for interview. So while that's 30% of the plaintiffs, that's not good enough for me. So when people say, hey, will you do another lawsuit for Islamabad? I really want to see some progress with this case, proof of concept. So let me keep working on this case, make some progress. And if we do, we'll move forward with another group lawsuit. But right now, it would be premature. If you are, oh my gosh, great frequently asked question. I get this 10 times a day. I'm a U.S. citizen. My spouse is Pakistani, and we are DQ. What do we do now, since we are not in that group lawsuit and we do not have an interview? Okay, you have 3 options. Number 1, relocate your beneficiary to another country with a U.S. embassy that is functioning. Okay, I know the easiest place for Pakistanis to get a visa is Abu Dhabi, is UAE. That's not ideal because Abu Dhabi embassy also has a backlog. It's better than Islamabad, but it's not ideal. There's still going to be a long wait. Okay. I realize a lot of visa applicants are not adventurous, but this is the difference between being together in the U.S. relatively quickly or adding a year or 2 of family separation to your journey. So I think that it's worth exploring. If either the petitioner or the beneficiary is a remote worker, what that means is work from home, like I do. I work from home. This is inside my home. I'm not at the office. If you are a remote worker, there are some countries, especially Spain is my favorite, who have a remote worker visa. And what you could do is get that remote worker visa, go be in Spain, and then have your interview changed to Madrid, where there's no backlog, and go in, get your visa, and come to the U.S. It's an indirect path to get here a lot quicker. I have an attorney in Madrid that's working with our clients. So if you're interested in that, definitely get with me. Second option, a mandamus lawsuit. We charge $5,000 for a mandamus lawsuit that's against NBC, the State Department, before the case has been assigned to the embassy, before AP. And they're generally very effective, but at Islamabad, we got some extra barriers because of the understaffing and the administration's lack of prioritizing immigrant visa applications at that embassy. So what I would say is, if you have the means, the economic means to do everything in your power to advance your application, yeah, let's do a mandamus lawsuit. If money's tight, I'm not so sure I would recommend it, because mandamus lawsuits, while they're great across the board, at Islamabad, we do have some extra obstacles. The government normally doesn't fight a mandamus lawsuit, but Islamabad, they've got a lot to lose if they don't fight. If they don't fight one, then I'll file 1,000 the next month. So it's a little different situation. But at the same time, if it were me and I was trying to get with my spouse, I would file a mandamus lawsuit. The worst thing that could happen if you file a mandamus lawsuit is the worst thing that could happen is it doesn't work and the application is not the adjudication is not accelerated and you're at the same place that you started. It's the worst that could happen. Okay. Third option for a U.S. For U.S. citizens trying to get their Pakistani spouses to the U.S. It's just to wait and see when it happens organically. I don't recommend that because it's not pretty. I mean, if you've already been waiting 6 months, you've probably still got a year. If you just got DQ or you're not DQ yet, you maybe have 2 years. It's very scary what's going on there. Okay. I have talked about Islamabad enough. Let me go to the next question here. Omar Ali from YouTube says, any update on Islamabad lawsuit? If this works, we can have people together and keep filing lawsuits to clear the backlog. Hey, Omar, I think I just answered that question by embellishing Bassam's question and elaborating on it. I'm going to have some A&W zero sugar. They're not paying me to say drink this, but it's really good. My dad loved root beer, so I have a special connection with root beer. Arturo says, I mean, good luck. Yes, you do. And I've given that update on good luck. We're still waiting on the outcome of the appeal. Question from Curious Explorers. Oh, that's not curious. Hi, Curtis. How many Good Luck Plank members are from Kenya? I don't know. I released all that information when we filed the case. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. When we first filed Good Luck, there were 11,698 families, and these were the top countries. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the top 10 countries. And it wasn't in the top 10. So I know it's under 350 families. That's what I know for sure. But I don't know the exact number. If you email me, I can look it up maybe. I'm trying to figure out where it would be. Also, the number of plaintiffs, some of them got visas in September of 2021. So I'm not sure if that number is as useful as you think it is. Okay. Bar Kerman on YouTube asked, why are they silent for so long, the Court of Appeals? That's generally what Court of Appeals do. They don't rush decisions. Almost every decision that is issued by a Circuit Court of Appeals has consequences for other lawsuits, other sections of the law, just the law generally. So they are cautious and careful about issuing opinions. So that's why. Haseen says, how about DV 2021 lottery? Your DV 2021 lottery journey is over if you were not a good luck plaintiff or you were not waiting on an interview from one of the Ray embassies, the embassies that Judge Chutkin gave relief for. I think there are 27 of them. Omar, how about your sense? Is it close? The appeal, can you feel it close? Maybe you sense it stronger than us. In English, we have this word called seance, where you communicate with the dead and like you close your eyes. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to communicate with the dead or do ESP or any of those things. So I'm not a witch. I do not know. Okay. I do not sense. I do not have a feeling on this. I have accepted that it's something I cannot know. Okay. I think good luck plaintiff will win after Biden administration. I think you're saying you think we will win the appeal after Biden is not president, which would be 2024 or 2020. 2025 or 2029. I don't know. It depends on whether or not he's reelected. I'm not really sure what to. I don't think the appeal will go out that long, but we'll see. Hisham says, Mr. Morrison, my question is, if we succeed in the appeal, do you expect the government to go to the Supreme Court, and how long does the Supreme Court take to make a decision? I know that some other attorneys on our team have speculated that the government may go to the Supreme Court. I don't know if they will or not. I mean, they have a lot on their plate. Is this the most important thing to them? But the second thing is, the Supreme Court does not have to hear the decision. The Supreme Court can just ignore what's called deny cert. Actually, it's Latin, certiorari, deny certiorari. It's not how you say it. But so there's no guarantee that the Supreme Court will even hear the case, okay? That applies no matter who's appealing, whether it's the government appealing an adverse order to them or us appealing an adverse order to us. So I don't have expectations about what the government's going to do. There is a risk that they will do it. But also, understand this. Even if they do it, that doesn't stop the issuance of visas unless they get a stay of the order. And Judge Mehta has already said he won't do that. So they would have to try to get the stay from the Circuit Court of Appeals or from the Supreme Court. So they would have a tough road ahead if they want to appeal. If they want to appeal and stop the issuance of visas. Arnaud says, hi, Curtis. Please, if we beat the appeal, how long would the summary judgment take? I'm a good luck plaintiff. I don't know, but I do know that Judge Mehta understands the hardship and of the limbo that you're in. So I don't expect he would drag it out on purpose. I think if it took time, it's only because of his docket and him being busy. It's a fully briefed motion. Like, we filed our motions for summary judgment, cross motions. The government filed their motion. We both filed oppositions in reply. All of that's already been filed. So it's ready to be written. My guess would be within a month, but I don't know. Could be shorter, could be longer. Henny's sharing his biggest fear. Never share your biggest fear. Don't have a biggest fear. Okay, but let's go with it. My biggest fear for the outcome of DV cases, especially for Gomez 2020, the majority can find that, yes, implementation of the proclamation was wrong, but they will not reserve visas, not because of statutory deadline, but because during the proclamation, visa would be denied anyway based on the proclamation. So no reservation. What do you think about this scenario? I have a fear that's a close scenario, but it's not this one, because in the scenario you described, if the majority found that the implementation of the proclamation was unlawful, then they could not have, then it would have been unlawful for them to fail to interview visa applicants because of the proclamation. So I think that if we win on that first prong, we win on the second prong of your question. Yeah, but there are actually dozens of combinations of ways this appeal could end. And the reason I say that is because you've got multiple lawsuits with statements of issues. There's appeal in Good Luck. There's an appeal in Go. There's an appeal in Gomez. There's appeal in Phyllis Povich. I think that there's a cross appeal in Go. All these have statement of issues, and the court can say yes on issue 1, no on issue 2, yes on issue 3, no on issue 4, yes on issue 5. So there's many different combinations of what could happen, and trying to predict which one and saying which one's worse and da 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 da. Don't worry about it. Let's just wait and see what happens. Ian says DV 2020. Ian, that's not a question. Henny says, and to be more positive, thank you for being more positive. Let's suppose that we will win. Will they do a new lottery to decide whom the 23,000 plaintiffs will have one of the reserve visas? No, not exactly. In other words, a traditional lottery is held by KCC, and they randomly select people, and that's not what's going to happen. These cases have already been deployed to the embassies. Now, I say that, don't be contacting the embassy and say, my case is already there. Embassies cannot access them. They've been deployed on the computers, but it's going to take some code to where the consular officers can actually access those cases. So KCC is no longer involved. There's always going to be an element of a lottery in any kind of immigration process because you don't know who the consular officer is going to be. You don't know how many people are going to be before you at your specific embassy. You don't know whether or not they're going to look close at one part of your application or another part. I mean, there's always going to be some randomness to it. But it's not going to be a lottery in the traditional sense. Sorry for asking. Are there people from? Don't be sorry for asking a question. It's cool. Even if I come off like mean in the answer, it's still cool. I still want you to ask questions. Are there people from Good Luck who have received invitations or visas lately? Yes, but they have not been DV 2021 visas. No one has been issued a DV 2021 visa since September 30th of 2021. Okay. There have been Good Luck plaintiffs who have been issued visitor visas, student visas, employment visas, and even investor visas. But there have not been Good Luck plaintiffs that have been issued DV 2021 visas. Actually, there have been Good Luck plaintiffs who were issued DV 2022 visas and Good Luck plaintiffs who have been issued a DV 2023 visas. Isn't that interesting? But DV 2021 visas, those visas that Judge Mehta and Judge Chutkan reserved, nobody can touch them. They're locked away. Okay? Think of it like that. Loving the questions today. Great questions. DV 2021 selectees from Kenya. 232 selectees. Oh, that's the answer to the question that was asked before. So there were 232 selectees in what Gomez meant to say. There were 232 selectees that were plaintiffs in Good Luck. Some of those were issued visas, and so they're no longer like your competition. Okay. And some of them have chosen different paths. You know, life has changed. So that's why I'm not sure if that information is as useful as you think it is. Okay. What about for Togo? I don't know. Oh, it's very few. I think there's like 5 plaintiffs from Togo and Trinidad, and I've talked to you all. I don't think that there's that many, but I don't have it in front of me. Oh, Morrison Urena does. There were 107 selectees from Togo. We don't know how many of those were issued, though. Okay, that's how many were plaintiffs, and good luck. We don't know how many are still waiting for visas. Okay, I'm going to give you all like one last minute to ask additional questions because there aren't any, and I'm going to end early if there's no questions. I don't even care if the question is about the weather. I need a question. Nonsense, thanks. Okay. Honey says, thank you for your answers. I want to just tell you that during fiscal year 2021, KC unlocked my DS260, and I filled it out again on the same day, but I didn't ask for that. I've proof in my email. If we win appeal, I hope it will have no impact on my case. I think it already had impact on your case. I don't really know. I realize that there are people in the DV community, influencers, that don't realize this and won't accept it. But whenever you open your DS260, it changes your AV date, stage date. And so it's already impacted you. But whether it will further impact you, I don't know. There's a good argument for why it will not, because these cases are no longer in the possession of KCC. They've already been deployed to embassies. So hopefully it will not further impact you. Artur says, I have. I don't know what he has. You have a fondness for my hair. I agree with you. It looks great. And he says, yes, but they opened it without my asking. Yeah. I didn't mean to imply that you asked. It's wrong that they did that, but there's nothing we can do about it. Does Warsaw Embassy have a big backlog for DV visas? Are you talking about DV 2023 selectees? How, okay, I'm going to pretend like I just got asked that question and show you how I'm going to get the answer. Okay, what I'm going to do is share my screen. August 2021 visa bulletin. That's what we want because, oh no, not August 2021. Are you talking in your question, Warsaw Embassy? I'm assuming you're talking about DV 2023. So that's not what I want. In the August visa bulletin every year lists how many select. Why does that say April? Okay, fine. You go to the August 2022 and it'll tell me how many selectees there are for a country. And you said Warsaw. So we're going to look at Poland. There are 228 selectees for DV 2023. And who else goes to Warsaw? Russians go to Warsaw, right? Yes, Ukrainians go to Frankfurt, Russians go to Warsaw. And so Russia, 5,505, 228. So you've got 5,700 people waiting on DV interviews at Warsaw. So I don't know if you'd call that a backlog, but it's that not showing. I'm sharing the screen, but it's not showing what I'm sharing. Give me 1 minute while I figure out how to do my live here. Okay. Yeah. If you go to the August 2022 visa bulletin, And then you search Poland, you got 228, and then from Russia you got 5,505, and then also the Belarus DVs go to Warsaw, so you've got 1,500 there. So you've got a lot. Okay. So to answer your question, there are many. Okay, Archer. Oh, don't worry about today's topic. We don't have a today's topic. Friend's wife is the winner of DV 2023. Congratulations to Friend's wife. DS260 was sent on May 20th, 2022. Very smart. On March 3rd, a request was sent. KCC says that the case is ready. It says KSS, but I think you mean KCC. Okay. There's not a question here. Maybe it's the next question. Is it possible that despite the DQ, they still may not receive an invitation? Yes, it's very possible. You didn't say whether or not it's current in the visa bulletin. I think that that's important. And also, case number current from March visa bulletin. Okay, that's great. So they've got a good chance, but the embassy is a very important factor, because if the embassy is going slow, that's going to cause a problem. But their AV stage date should be good, since they filed their application DS260 so early, and it's good that they were current in March. But keep in mind, I think if you go to SIAC website and you type in case number 2021 AS1, they were not issued visas. So the case number alone is not a reliable indicator of whether or not a visa will be issued. Last year we had some visas, some clients with case numbers under 100 who were not issued visas. Okay, so there are other factors, and the embassy location is a huge one, very important factor. Prashit says, so why the Biden administration doesn't like immigration, especially 2020 and 2021? I'm not going to speculate. I don't know. I don't even know. Archer says, case number current from... We've already talked about that. Prashit says, where is Divin? Divin's doing great. I talked to him on Telegram yesterday. He's no longer with Morrison Urena, but he's doing good. Thanks for asking about him. I'll tell him that you asked about him. Actually, there is a Telegram chat for good luck plaintiffs that, since there has not been an update in a while, it was in danger of being deleted. And Divin made me the administrator of it yesterday. So it will not be deleted, and it will be there for me to share information when I have it. It will be shared in English probably, because I don't know Nepalese. Okay. What about 2021? Your 2021 journey? You didn't say DV, so I'm just going to say 2021. 2021 was not my favorite year. Let's say you were talking about DV 21. DV 2021, your journey is over. Unless you were a good luck plaintiff or you were eligible for the relief Judge Chutkin gave to specific DV 2021 selectees in a certain situation in the Ray order. Okay. Human says, how long should I wait to file a mandamus? Human, you win an award for not giving me enough information. I need to know what immigration benefit you're looking for, whether you're looking for it from USCIS or the State Department, and what part of the process you're stuck at, and how long you've been stuck there, and how long has the delay been on the State Department. You can message me directly about that stuff. I don't charge for consults. I don't know if people realize that. I know a lot of people realize that, because I talk to 20 or 30 people a day free consults. We charge when we offer, when you hire us to do a service. But if you ask me a question and I know it off the top of my head and I don't need to do research, I'll share it. If I do not know it, I will not give you the answer because I do not know it. Okay. Masab says, thank you, Mr. Morrison. Even if we don't win the appeal, this will be our last attempt to make our dream come true. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Masab. Prashad says, I will join your law firm for sure one day. That is wonderful. I would love it if our law firm could grow. We've been a law firm that I'm particularly proud of how much representation we have in our law firm from the immigration community. At one time when we had a lot of paralegals, when we were onboarding and working for the good luck plaintiffs, I think like we had 10 employees who were former DVs. So right now we still have employees that are former DVs too. So Preston says it is his dream. And then says, sure. Okay. It's been a great 40 minutes. I'm going to wrap up. See you next Wednesday. If you or your friends or family speak Farsi, join us tomorrow for 9 a.m. Pacific time for a live stream in Farsi, a Q&A, no specific topic, with me and Farshad. I think that's 7:30 p.m. Tehran time. So that's tomorrow. There's a meme on Telegram, YouTube, Facebook. You'll see it there. So thank you. And I need to answer Artur's question. I'm out the door. Does it make sense to call the embassy or write, or will it not help? If you are a DV 2020 or 2021 client of ours, you should not be calling the embassy or writing. It will not help, and it slows them down and causes the backlogs and problems to be worse. There's nothing an embassy can do to help you if a judge has said all these visas are locked away until we get this order from the Circuit Court of Appeals. So if you're a DV 2020 or 2021, I can't remember what you are, Archer, because I've talked to so many people. Do not contact the embassy. I'll scroll up and see what you were. Nope, you were a DV. Well, you're talking about DV 2023. Okay, you're talking about good luck and DV 2023. So I don't know in context what this question is, but DV 2023s, no, it doesn't help. He says no for DV 2023. No, the embassy is not going to be able to claw your application from KCC. I've seen consular officers try it. If you go to our website, the Freedom of Information Act request page, there's production of our Freedom of Information Act request that shows where consular officers have tried it, and it doesn't work. There's nothing an embassy can do to get KCC to give a case. They can the only thing embassy can do is just give lots of appointment slots, and then they get more cases, but they can't pick a specific case. So there's no reason to bother the embassy. One thing DV 2023 selectees can do is have their U.S. citizen and green card holder relatives contact members of Congress. I've shared instructions on how to do that for DVs on Telegram several times. Or you can message me and I'll tell you how to do it. Thanks. Bye.